Kia ora. In this last lesson on bivariate data, we're going to talk about analyzing scatter plots. Now, scatter plots can show us what kind of a relationship there is between two variables. And that has to do with how close the data points are. So looking at this data, what we're going to want to do is look at the following features. Form, direction, strength, and unusual features. Let's go through those one at a time. So we're going to be looking for patterns. First, we can see the data on sample A closely resembles a straight line, and the one in sample B is a little bit more spread out. So what that's going to allow us to say is the one in sample A, this would be a strong relationship because the data points very much follow a straight line, where for sample B, it's moderate. So really close together, strong, little farther apart, moderate. If they're really far apart, we could say weak. Also, sometimes the data has a pattern that does not follow a straight line. So if the data points seem to curve, we will say it's a non-linear relationship. Okay, going up to the right is a positive relationship. They go down to the right, that is negative. In other words, if the x-axis numbers go up and the y-axis go up, that is a positive relationship. If, as x goes up, y goes down, that's a negative relationship. Okay, and please feel free to add those to your notes. Okay, going up to the right is positive, and they're fairly close together, so we could say it's strong to moderate. In the scatter plot above, let's use the context. As the age increases, so does the horn length. That makes for a positive linear relationship because the data points do roughly go in a straight line. Sometimes a scatter plot won't make any kind of pattern at all. So as these do not go up to the right, down to the right, they're not close together. If they're all spread out like that, you can say no relationship. Okay, next one is going to be linear or nonlinear. Up to the right, positive, and they pretty much follow a straight line, so I would say linear. Those definitely curve, nonlinear, pretty much a straight line, linear. And those, they curve, so non-linear. Now, the direction of the relationship, positive or negative, since they go up to the right, positive. They go down to the right, negative. Next, we'll talk about the strength of the relationship, strong, moderate, or weak. If the data points are pretty close together, we're going to go with strong. As they spread out, moderate. And if they're really far apart, you're going to go with weak. Okay? And lastly, we're going to talk about unusual points. If there's any point that's well away from the rest, that's an unusual point. It's worth mentioning. So there it is, one unusual point. A little bit less than 10 years, a little bit more than a weight of 800 grams. Always want to mention unusual points. There's one as well. As we were saying, you want to identify those points. So when we're analyzing our scatter points, you want to talk about the form, linear or nonlinear, the direction, positive going up to the right, negative going down to the right, strength, strong, moderate, or weak, and unusual points. And if there are no unusual points, you will say there are none. Okay? Scatter plots only compare two variables. They cannot show any more than that. Let's look at an example. So we've got a linear trend because the data points go in roughly a straight line. It is positive because as the time increases, so does the score. We've got a strong relationship because the data points are close together and there are no unusual points. Okay, please apply this to the mahi o te rā, Maori mahi, Maori ora, ka kite ano.